to the Elite Eight. 3 number 2s and 1 3. Nelson springs free. A breakdown defensively. Knepel shakes Nelson. Comes up short. Both of these teams can score in flurries. Alabama a 7-2 run answering a Duke 12-3 run. After Duke had built it to a 13-point lead, Grant Nelson. Clock is off. Alabama has a chance at the last shot here. Sears turns the corner. Hot pass, Nelson. Nice catch and a finish. And that'll take us to the end of the first half. It was the worst 13 minutes of their season. And as Nelson steals it and lays it in. Allie said, we addressed her. Tyrese Proctor went the first 2 games of this NCAA tournament. Missed just 2 3-pointers, made 13. They're here in Newark, New Jersey with us in the East region as Mom gives up the first one, can't get it to go. And here's Grant Nelson, who was at his best in the Sweet 16 last year, and he opens up the score. He lays it in, making a 9-0 BYU run. Up ahead, Nelson drops his shoulder, and that's going to be a goaltend. Now, Keita grabbed the read. It was called either way, but it is just a turnover, and BYU turns it right back over. And on the run, Grant Nelson.
And shorter possessions.
Mikey Lewis bounces across the paint. Wessels, tough shot, well challenged by Omori. And St. Mary's comes up empty. Nelson is going to hoist it. He sticks it. Under a minute left in the half. Here comes Philon, turn to the corner. No. Nelson.
There's the factor with him.
Gales just can't seem to string together some stops and a costly turnover. Ahead of the pack. Nelson! Take it. Inbounder is Youngblood. Have nearly a full shot clock, so plenty of time. Aiden Holloway on the attack. Nelson!
The first pass coming in. Let's see if they can direct it to the corner. You do not want Sears to handle it and foul him. They go above the corner. That's a good pass.
Philon, gonna wait for his mace. Now creeps into the paint, near corner. Nelson slithers inside. Coming with some heat.
Lays it back in. There's the offensive glass. Condon got a hand on it, and then Chinyelu corralled it under the bucket. Philon, the freshman who was so good in the quarterfinal win yesterday over Kentucky. Big men in the SEC, maybe in the country, that Florida has. And another one coming off the bench, Thomas Houck, who's a great passer as well. Nelson left alone. Well, Alabama's doing a good job, even in transition with that double drag. That's hard to guard. And LeBaron Philon, this guy is a budding star.
Yeah, he is getting better by the game. Was the player of the game for Alabama in the win over Kentucky last night. And he'll return the favor with a dunk at the other end.
And Condon screened off the help defense again.
Nelson with the running reverse.
Gets right through and dunks it in. Saying Batchke won the game last night on. Rather, when you're outnumbered like Alabama just was, you've got to shrink the court and play a 4-man zone until Omori gets back in the play.
They didn't do that. Nelson, tough shot over Williams.
Travis Perry, 8, and listen to the roar of Big Blue Nation. Nelson, they will give him that shot, and they will pay for it.
I won't make excuses. The kid's been great all year.
Ravi, this is an energy and effort game today for Alabama. They did not have it the last couple of games. Nate Oates has been on his guys about that part. Oh, what a play. Nelson got...
Wimp Sanderson of years ago. Wimp, you don't remember Wimp as
I remember Wimp and his sport coach. Of course I do. There's Nelson all the way to the rack. For Janai Broome. Again, though, excuse me, it's off that flex cut. No one in college ball. Nelson! Oh, my goodness! On the shot clock. Jones will fire. No good. Broome good. Hustle, but the loose ball goes to Alabama. Youngblood go off his foot. Sears picks it up. 10 of your time on the shot clock. Nelson, yes, that's a rare 3 for him. Line of scrimmage and your ball screen defense today. You can't be low. You got to be high against both teams to take away shooters. Nelson, is he feeling it? Yes, he is. What a
great look and great pass. What exciting plays we see it being made by such talented kids and 2 well-coached guys here that really know how to get the most of their players.
Here comes Sears. Nelson will launch one. Oh, Grant Nelson has.
He's a bad. Did Meatloaf say that? 2 out of 3 is a bad.
Tie ball game.
And he made only 1 out of 3. That's not good.
This is usually Sears' time, but Auburn's done a good job of staying stiff on him, and it's going to have to be someone else maybe make a play.
Miles Kelly got him now as Nelson penetrates against Broom. We'll go with the jump hook. Oh, and Grant Nelson has it back, though. Phylon will fire. No. Look at Nelson. Oh, wow.
Phylon will inbound underneath to a wide open Nelson. Go here in the opening half. On the back cut, Klobuchar puts it up, misses in and out, and the rebound by Nelson.
Alabama's help side defense has been very active on those back cuts when they're top locking.
What a great drive and finish. Guys back defensively. Sears on the baseline, can't connect, batted out by Nelson, and there's Phylon.
You can't grab it, tip it out so a teammate can get it.
Phylon lob, and Nelson met at the rim again, but that time didn't go up.
In favor of Florida in fast break points in this game.
They really have everything. Got a deep team as well. Battle tested. They've had some big wins on the road this year and trying to get another one. Up 12. Nelson spinning and scoring.
Youngblood.
He made a point of telling us, I got to get creators out there with Sears. That was such a good example of it with Holloway's dribble. And then the dish to Sears. Watch it. Bam! National championship. He wants to win the SEC tournament championship. And it's always a goal of theirs to win the regular season championship. And they still have an outside shot to catch Auburn. Florida losing tonight. Nelson to the hole. That's what he does.
And 7-footer Keyshawn Murphy is. He's got a motor about him. He's got a chance to make an NBA roster someday. He's so athletic and springy.
And back into that 2-3 zone. Nelson reverse. Pretty play.
Those are the kind of plays.
Cleans it up.
The value of a guy that can get the ball on the glass in this league is understated. It allows those offensive rebounding giants to come into play.
Oway plays with 4 fouls, Dick, and he's got 2 points as Nelson scores his first out of the game.
But they had all those guys at Rupp Arena, and they still couldn't beat them. So
That's
we got to
fair.
give credit to Alabama. But also, when you look at Kentucky, they're 7-1 against top 15 teams.
Nelson, yes, that's what they need.
No resistance.
Oklahoma and Georgia, 2 wins by 24 points and 13, but they look really good in the second half of both games.
And so one of the keys of Missouri on the defensive end is the physicality of their backcourt. They get a lot of steals, they're physical, they grab. Oh, Mitchell connects. Only shoots 23%. They're going to give him that look.
Mo Diabate into the game. Great feed. It's Nelson. Count. More top 35 of the nation in steals. That pass was tipped or Johnson
will. Diabate, full head of steam. The follow by Nelson, but
it's a needle threading to get it to Chaney Johnson. Johnson has had an impact on this game since he's been in off the bench.
And now he stays in front of Sears on the drive. Little Euro step by Grant Nelson. Moving well, getting back on D. And he comes up with a block. The ball is loose and Nelson slams. And in and out for Pettiford. So it is still an 8-point game. Nelson driving, and that's a goaltending call. Count the back there, and you can have a bit of an easier path in the NCAA tournament. And the same could happen in the SEC tournament. But the point is, I mean, just an incredible number of teams.
4-minute segment that just goes south on them. And they're kind of in the middle of one right now, to your point. Nelson wrapped up, loose ball, picked it up and put it in. Job of putting it in perspective. They're 8-1 on the front 9, he told his team, and now we've got a ridiculously hard back 9 that we have to maneuver through. And we can't be looking at hole number 12, which is Auburn, when we have to play hole number 11 right now, Texas.
Yeah, we'll look at that schedule a little later, but how about go to Visich immediately. Starters for Alabama include Chris Youngblood, who's shooting lights out over the last couple of games. 9 for his last 13 from D. Nelson shoves his way inside.
Well, this will be a night like tonight, Tom. You can feel the crowd as the opponent, not just hear it.
Nelson, fancy move. Away.
The physicality of Theo, just enough of a contact by him to knock his defender off the path and elevate. Man, such a tough cover is 3 in white.
He's got 13 on 50% shooting, a couple of offensive rebounds to help him out. Sears finds Nelson. Beautiful pass, and Nelson takes it off the window.
Grant Nelson of the year last year at South Florida. Now back to his hometown.
Sidestep 3 for Visich. Alabama comes out of there with it. Lamera Philon pushing the pace. Holloway whips it inside, and Nelson with the reverse. Got Visich off balance. Youngblood fires a 3. It's an air ball, but an offensive putback for Nelson.
Good position with R.J. Godfrey. He gets them going in the low block, and there he is with a good start for the second half.
Sears to Nelson. Oh, that's great footwork by the second-year. An inadvertent whistle there might have been. Nonetheless, Blue Kane banks it in off the window.
The shoe squeaking from Blue Kane as he created the space. It's a lot of physicality on both of these teams on the finishes around the basket.
Nelson, there you go, taking advantage of the foul.
You'll get easy baskets around the rim.
Georgia was 1 for 10 from downtown in the first half. Meanwhile, Bama 6 for 14 from 3. Remember, they had 15 made threes in their latest win coming into the weekend. And right on cue, Nelson from... Great feed of Morey to Nelson, sent away by Santos Surreal.
This is a veteran player who understands how to set the tone for teams to start the game. Physical down low on the offensive end and the defensive end.
There's LeBaron Philon. Good to see him into the game. It was a game-time decision. Dealing with an ankle/foot injury as Nelson puts...
We'll have much more on that story as this game goes on and how Nate Oates and Mark Sears have moved on. And Nelson with the nice little scoop shot to get by the D.
Beautiful move. Going end-to-end, shifting, and laying it up with the right hand before the shot blocker was able to get there.
Sears in close and a nice assist. A 3-ball, nothing but nylon.
That was a great job right there by Josh Hubbard. He's missed his last few three-pointers because he was rushed. He uses the pump fake and frees himself up. South Florida, and has continued to grow in his career. Now he's back playing for his hometown team, and that type of attitude and pride is starting to show.
Pick and roll with Nelson rolling to the rim and one. Gentlemen, you're on TV. You can go ahead. Thank you, Starkville. I need to come back.
Southern hospitality.
Oh, you know it. We start this second half. It is Alabama with the ball. Nelson inside. He had a strong guarding Hubbard. Tipped away. It's Alabama with a steal. Nelson, they're giving it to him. He says, thank you. In his first action as an LSU hoopster, just put on a clinic.
It's like a pick six. I know he's an offensive guy, but this gives you a little idea of his size, length, and explosiveness.
And Nelson with his first basket on Mark Sears.
Well, I thought there were opportunities for him to score at the rim or in the paint. He missed a couple. He turned down a few of them. He's got 3 assists. However, I just thought maybe his decision-making, when to score, when to pass, wasn't there.
Well, they're going to get
both Bama's big fellas there. Omari and Nelson. Creative.
Nelson working against Trey-Dance Green. Up now. Cam Carter with 15, his first 3 of the game. Phylon to Nelson. He's wide open. Got it!
In that, remember the block shot on the other end of the floor, and maybe some sort of contact from that moment was lingering, so he takes a seat. Nelson goes to work. Grant Nelson.
Big reason for this point differential here in the second half.
The staff has always referred to Diabate as someone who plays with extreme effort, and they will set it up.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to show a little bit of extended pressure. An outstanding on-ball defender, Tyler Tanner, on Mark Sears.
14-point game coming up on the 6-minute mark, second half. There's the lob. Grant Nelson clear.
Vanderbilt is penetrating with the intent to pick out for their outside as Grant Sears draw the foul, get to the free throw line, and try to ice the game.
Oh, home run pass here. Touchdown, Grant Nelson.
And a terrific start for the Wildcats, up 5 early. Sears, boy, what a matchup that is. As good as Sears is offensively and as good as Butler is defensively. Nelson's going to try another one and hit it. Drilled. Sears ran into a screen from Williams, got knocked down. Oweh no, and Amori clears the glass. Big time rebound by Cliff Amori. 4 years at Rutgers, rebounder, shot blocker. Nelson the drive and the finish. It's an 8-0 run. Pretty bounce pass into Butler. He'll come out to the elbow and leave it short.
Well, that was a great defensive sequence by Cliff Amori. Guarded the pass, then guarded the cutter, and then got back to put pressure on the shot.
Boy, oh boy, Grant Nelson airballs the first and drains with Butler looking on from the bench.
Obi Brea is the best shooter in the country. Led the nation in three-point percentage last year, right there again this year.
Yeah, he's down to 5th this year.
Yeah, really struggling.
And shoots it incredibly well here at home this year. Sears. Great cut by Nelson and a great find by Sears. Phylon gets a good look from the wing. Tipped up and in, counted, and a foul. And Nelson going to their lineup right now.
Screen for the screener action, well read by Kentucky.
Nelson. Boy, that's a strong move. Banging.
Coming off a little staggered screen. They call that rifle action. Just turns the corner, gets right to the rim.
Phylon takes a bump from Butler. Nelson up and counted.
Did you see how Nelson
on ESPN? Big win for Don Staley's team against Texas last Sunday. The last foul was on Dre Davis. Bam on a 6-0 run thanks to the threes coming alive. Sears matched up with Dia. Nelson into Dia this time. It was just a switch fest. Whoa, how did he get free? Nelson turned. Nice touch. Largest lead of the game for Ole Miss. The Rebels looking for a road win, up 5. Grant Nelson gets a high percentage. The lead is 9. Nelson. No. Nelson again, yes. The largest.
On the fake. Can't connect. One and done on that possession. He's taking a lot of the load on himself, most of it on the offense. Here's Nelson to slam it as he comes onto the baseline quickly.
In their lineup in foul trouble.
Well, the three-pointer, a giant part of who they are, but the roll to the basket, and Nelson with the stick.
28% from behind the arc. That's just his 10th three of the year for Zachary Davis.
If you're South Carolina, you want to continue locking up on defense. You don't want to get in an up and down race with Alabama. That's two there. See? Yeah.
Mark Sears with a nice off into the hands of Davis. He's out of control. Little sloppy here. Holloway will back it out. Nelson to the rim. Reverse. Count it. Foul on Pringle.
That's better right there. You had him out of position right there, leaning, had a screen and roll. They were having attention on Colin Murray Boyles. Great pull-up by Jacoby Wright. Uh-oh.
Grant Nelson.
Back to Alabama.
Sears, the step back, gives it up. Instead, it's Nelson with two hands.
Shot right there for Jalen Moore. And no bigger that Oklahoma needs it at this moment right now.
And all the attention that Sears gets when he has the ball in his hands. Three ball falls for Grant.
Advantage. Alabama elected to switch at the end of that pick and roll action, which gave them the mismatch. Godwin, with the smaller player, scores in the paint.
Nelson hesitated, but he still makes the three.
Now this is multiple traps, doubling in the low post, hard hedging on ball screens. This might be the strategy that they're going to need to try to get back into this game.
Philon comes to a stop. Nelson launches, nothing but nylon.
Second half, his first taste of SEC play.
A lot of length from Alabama, getting another block there. Extra passing, Nelson thought about it, on the deck, bump, no call, but he gets it to go.
Seiler off balance. Couldn't connect, and Amori chases down the rebound. Take a look at the starting five for South Dakota State, really highlighted by Oscar Clough. Grant Nelson from three.
That's a good positioning.
Shot clock winding down. Larson long range. Basketball back to Alabama. Nelson with a three. Crimson Tide. Last time out against Kent State. A week later, off to a great start against South Dakota State. Against Matthew Morris. Nelson fights in. He's got the first 8.
Teams, when you're playing a team that posts up, it's a different look. And more than anything, it's a different look that Alabama sees in practice because it's not a style in which they play.
Grant Nelson, double figure scoring already with a
shaping up to that ball as he came from the wing and came back to the top of the key as the ball reversed over to him.
Nelson with the right hand dunk.
That ball screen, the defense had to converge and they knocked it down. Another convergence knockdown jumper on the other end for South Dakota State.
Seiler finally had some space. Alabama's had pressure defense on him. Grant Nelson keeps scoring for the
to do so in these moments.
Friendly roll for Matthew Morris, the Wisconsin transfer. Grant Nelson scored and won.